Hello everyone, welcome back to the Alpha Primus channel. I am Alpha Primus and this is our review, well my review, of Transformers Age of the Prime Commander Class Silverbolt. Yes, the main body of Superion and the leader of the aerial bots. I've been so excited for this guy. Just to have the skeleton of Superion, who's one of my favourite combiners. I had him as a child and I loved him, but my Silverbolt broke and I was always gutted about that. Looking on here on the box, he is number 3 of 5. We have 44 steps and fantastic artwork once again. Again, love the artwork on these boxes. He is a commander class. We have another part of the mural. Looking at the box, he kind of goes with Megatronus, but not much. Still a bit out in terms of sizing. So it'll be interesting to see which other boxes will have this part of the mural and what it'll fit in with. On the back, we have some product shots. We have Superion himself, again looking good, even though he's not fully complete. We have the space shuttle version of the Concorde. We also have Silverbolt, the Concorde itself, and his quote-unquote battle station. It probably looks to me the weakest of them all. A bit simpler than Motormasters, and do you know what? I thought this was pretty weak until I have it in hand, and yeah, I will cover that, and you will. I actually like this mode now. And again, on the side we have a picture of Superion. That's it for the box. Let's get to the figure. And for a bit of change of pace, here we have Silverbolt in his Concorde mode. So this guy came in the box like this, and it's easier to transform him into Superion from this. So we have had him mostly in jet form, especially because showing this big thing here. This is hefty. It is quite hefty, and it does look like you're thinking that's going to look absolutely ridiculous on the back. However, it is not too bad. You can attach his first gun here. Just a quick jump cut because I realised his other gun wasn't where it should be, which it should be here. So there is, I believe it goes, which way does it go now? Ah, here we go. So this hole here pegs onto here, and it makes it sort of more of a nut. So it's a good place for Superion's gun. These are not normally up, but they are for when you want to connect, and everything sort of just slots in quite nicely. Let me just try and line it up a little bit. You might need to lift these wings up so they slat on. Click on there, and then there's 2 little notches for his wings to sort of clip onto. So, and that gives him, there we go, nice, you hear a bit of a click. Oh, and it comes out the other end. Okay, let's try this again. What have I flown off there? Oh, Superion's, one of Superion's antennas. I'll get onto that very shortly. So there we go. I've just got one end and then the other bonds pops off. I had this on just the other day. I don't know why I took it off. Silly me. There we go. Right, and then it is, again, it's one of the, we do it both, try and do it both sides at the same time. Again, it's not easy when you've got a camera in between. There we go. So there's my advice. Don't do it on camera. And to do it both sides at the same time, sort of clicking in and then try and get the wings down at the same time. I've noticed on the box, this nose cone wasn't painted. I do like this little feature. Nathan's really happy with this because even though there's a bit of a gap there, it is very much more like a Concorde when you do it like that than like so. You can see Superion's head right there. Let me get this antenna. I don't know if this is a common problem, but these are an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. I don't hate this mode. I really don't hate it. In fact, is that? I'm trying to think now. Yeah, and there's his landing gear. There we go. And his landing gear right there. I don't hate this mode. I thought it was going to look... I thought in the pictures... I don't know what it was about the pictures. It looked awful in the pictures. And it probably looks awful now. But having it in hand, I don't hate it. I really don't. I think it's got a very futuristic jet about it. You know, it's not very Concorde-like. Even though, you know, this is not technically a Concorde. It's not an official Concorde anyway, is it really? It was never going to be. But I don't know. Even Nathan was saying at first he thought this mode would be terrible, but it's not. It actually looks, it goes quite well. It feels like, for me, they've pulled it off. I think it goes quite well. I haven't put it in battle station mode yet, so I might change my mind on that. But again, I really don't hate this. I really don't. I actually kind of like it. It won't be displayed as this. He's going to be Superion like all our other combiners. Where's the point in having a combiner if he's not going to combine? But I don't hate it. I'm going to get on for a very, very quick vehicle size comparison before I move on to transformation and then doing bot mode. It's all backwards today. So here he is with his fellow fellow aerial bots. I am going to take this off now and just move it to one side for a few minutes, just so you can get, because I very much doubt anyone's going to have him displayed like that. Yeah, this way. Let me see if I can get a better. There we go. Look at that. I'll admit this, without this big hunk of, and it's quite hefty, chunk of plastic on his back end, without the junk in his trunk, he doesn't look like a commander. I'd say he could easily get away with a leader class. Maybe even, dare I say it, Voyager. However, you know, he is the main leader. I suppose Motormaster set that trend. When I got into Superion mode, I can justify. I think they can just about justify it. It's very, very thin line between being able to justify it and the price and not, especially when you're looking at him like this. I think, however, so far, I am really happy with these aerial bots. I think they look fantastic, and I cannot wait for the other two. I think they're due in October, hopefully. So hopefully by October we'll have a Devastator, because Mixmaster and Scavenger. No, we've got Scavenger. Scrapper. Well, we've got Scrapper. Scavenger are due around about September, and of course we've got Hook and Long Haul due August. So fingers crossed we'll have 2 new combiners by October. But yeah, he was always the longer one of the two of the 5 aerial bots, wasn't he? So yeah, you can't really. He was always going to be bigger, and I think the scale is pretty alright. I was going to try and get the landing gear out of there, but I can't bother now. Overall, I like his vehicle mode. Even like this, I think Nathan was quite disappointed seeing this at first, but I think he can get away with it. I think he gets away with it. Especially even if you take that, you do the nose, a little bit, you know, and yeah, I think it looks like a really cool. I know, again, it doesn't look exact. I mean, like that way you could definitely get away with it being a Concorde from that sort of view. I think he looks really. I think it goes really well with his fellow combiners. I'm not going to really compare him. In fact, no, I can compare him to somebody else. One sec. Starscream. Yeah, this is probably where the scale goes a little bit. I mean, I suppose, you know, he is a Voyager. That's what I said. They could potentially got away with doing a Voyager. Leader class easily. Could have definitely been a leader class had it not been for the fact that he is, with all this. I think this is the bulk of what pushes him up from leader to commander. Pretty much the same as Motormaster. I am going to do some more bot mode comparisons, but first off, I'm going to do transformation. So for transformation, first up, we open up the cockpit. If I can get my fingers in there. One sec. Ugh. And we fold back the nose, close the cockpit. We then move this whole section up and sort of unclip it there. For now, we then take his wings and fold them back. You can also take this section here and sort of move it up like so it gives a bit more clearance. These are obviously his legs, so they're going to come down. And yeah, just turn them a little bit so then they've got the knee joint there. So his feet are then facing forward. And then turn the other one. Bring his foot down. And I think that's something else. I don't remember that being on the transformation. Anyway, okay. His arms. Let's just do that. Yeah. Bring his arms out. You can open up his chest now, actually. Open up his chest. Bring his arms out fully. Because you'll need to have them nice and wide. Because you're going to come to the part that I hate the most in a minute. So you know you've got the arms right when you've got like the wing parts here. Now, flipping the head up, turn it around. This is the part where this becomes... Do you know what? I need to readjust this now, sorry. This is now my least favourite part. Up to now, he has been quite simple. To be honest, not too fussy, not too hard, not too difficult. I move this up. So, what's going to happen is Superion's head is going to come down like so and push right in to this chest here. You see the problem? These antennas are meant to fit in these little gaps here. With our copy, that doesn't always happen. It's really, I mean, you have to really make sure his head's in there. Like, even then, just then, it wasn't fully straight, and it has to be almost straight. So you have like these little holes here, and this is where they're going to rest. Now, I say this, and I'm probably going to do this, and it's probably going to go in perfectly. I have to sort of line it up, because if I don't, this one tends to pop off. So even if I might have to put my hands in. So now this one's becoming a bit of a faff as well. There we go. And click him. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this now, but yeah, you can see the antenna. It is very, very close. I now have to reopen it because I forgot to close this part. Have the arm, because it's all going to click in. And again, you've got, now you can see it there. It's not quite lined up with the hole. It's soft plastic, so it's not going to, but there's so many times I've done this and it's just popped off, and I've opened him up and yep, there it is. It's popped off already. Well, it's starting to pop off. It probably will come off by the time I get this back on. So this is the really tricky part for me. It doesn't just go in. It's like you've really got to. He's even then his head was slightly moved. Again, it's not gonna really align in there. I don't think it's gonna. No, you can see. It's nowhere near the gap. I don't know if you can actually see. I say that. There we go. That's it. Oh, and then then the arm pops out a little bit. Right, so now this side's not coming in as sweetly. Yeah. No. So this side has gone in okay. The other side hasn't. I am going to leave it for now. Only because, and then the back here just sort of clips in like that and looks like that. This is a really simple transformation other than for that part. Like, I've spent nearly 4.5 minutes, and most of it will be trying to line up these antennas. I think it is in there actually on both sides. So that is the only tricky part of it. The rest of it, it's seconds. It doesn't even take that long. Yeah, I like him with his wings out actually, and of course he holds his gun. So let's talk about him in bot mode. So first off, the most obvious choice is with his other teammates, his other aerial bot teammates. And yeah, he looks good. He looks like, this is where I'm saying even though he is commander class, this is where he looks. He is very imposing in that sense. He is bigger and bulkier, even though it doesn't feel like it. And his transformation, again, is quite similar to these two, where it's really simple, and I like it. I find Motormaster an absolute chore to transform, and this guy is like a breath of fresh air in that comparison. He is so much easier. Speaking of Motormaster, here we have him with his arch nemesis Motormaster, or his, his combiner rival in that sense. In one way, you could probably call him that. Yeah, again, you can sort of see where I think because of his wings, he looks wider. He's not necessarily, he's about the same height. I think I prefer Silverbolt simply because his transformation isn't an apps. Well, I will give Motormaster his due. It's one of those where it is a pain in the backside transforming, but he looks good in either truck. Or it's a brilliant engineering. It's just a pain in the ass. This guy, simple but effective. I love him. And for one final comparison, let's get Commander 86 Optimus Prime in there. Now you can sort of see where, I think he is a leader class. Just for a really, really quick comparison, actually, only because he's here. Here is a leader class movie Optimus Prime, Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime, and he's pretty much the same height. So, yeah, you can tell that the combiners are meant to be probably more leader class, but it's the skeleton and the extras that come with them that bulk them up to commander class. However, again, I can't say I can't say much against this guy. I do really like him. Okay, so forgive me if you hear a lot of rattling around and stuff like that, because I have not transformed this into his command center or base mode or whatever you want to call it. This is the first time, and I have the paper, I have the instructions right here on my lap, and they look simple enough. So I'm just going to go through step by step. So first off, we take this part off. Yeah, that's the most obvious part. We then lift this up, and I think we take that away. I don't know, but we lift these into put them down. What's going on? Yeah, we put them down. We put this up, and that stays there like that. Okay. But then we fold this down again. Okay, so now this is gone from this. Well, it's basically gone from being on here and like that to taking it off and putting it back down again. Okay, so we've got two separate parts. What next? These parts now turn around. So now they're facing that way. And this now goes like that. Okay. We put this on, and then this is going to connect onto, which way? Oh, no, we do it that way. Aha. And now this is going to peg on. Sorry, I've done them the wrong way around. That goes up. So these parts go up like this. So it should be facing up. Yeah. And then we've got some pegs. I think it's meant to peg on like this. Hey? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I've got it upside down. No, I had it the right. I had that. No, that doesn't make any sense. Right, so this part is down, but they're up. Okay, so it should look like this. Then we're going to put it upside down, so it's facing like that. And then, yes, okay. Silly me. We have these pegs here. They're going to peg onto this section here. So just line them up. Just make sure. There we go. So then these parts here, I assume. So that's going to clip on to like so. Meant to clip on there, or is it going down here? I can't quite tell. Oh, does it slide on? Looks like it slides on. But that says pushing on. Is it on the... It's on the lower ones. Right, one sec. Okay, so it is the lower ones. And this is... this chest section here does tend to pop off a couple of times with me. And that seems to be it. Yeah, there's a little... I wouldn't say it's really that fiddly. This then comes out. Yep, and I think there is a peg. Like this, yeah, there's like a section you can peg out. And how does this click on? Oh, it doesn't click on with a peg. It clicks on this little section. You see these little cutouts here? They're going to slot onto there like so. And he stands behind it like almost like a Gatling gun. By far the weakest mode. Yeah, that feels phoned in. Massively phoned in. I don't like it. My least favourite mode. However, let's get on now to transforming him into Superion. So I'm going to start with this section first. Take that off. Get that over there. Take this section off. I'm probably going to do this one first. So simply lift this up. Then I lift these sections up here, and then we're just going to twist around and twist again. And there we have the torso / body of Superion. I'm just going to put that there like that so it makes it a little bit easier. Put that to one side. Much like Motormaster, we have here is the arms and the legs, and they simply clip off. The arms I'm not going to fully unlock yet because I am going to put an aerial bot on there. And do the same with the other legs and arms. So again, the arm comes out here, and you can either fold the wings in, move them to one side. The legs, again, really, really simple. You have the heel that just clips back there, and then we have, I'm trying to remember now, yeah, push through there, and then we, on the nice little ratchet joint, and fold this down for his toes. So again, let's just see. Click that there for the heel. Pull this up. Pull this section up. Pull this whole section down and clip. And we have the feet. Really, really simple. Can't fault it. Let's get on to Silverbolt himself. So much like it is pretty much his plain mode almost when he is in Superion mode. So let's pull these wings back here. Pull his chest open. And let's take out Superion's head. Fold his head in. And bring let's also fold his arms in. Ready? And click them in like so. Fold his fist in. Click his arm in like so. And then we're going to bring back his chest. Why is that feeling really resistant? Oh, that doesn't feel great for some reason. Let's turn his head the other way, see if that helps for some reason. I don't know why that would help, but it might do. Oh, what have I done wrong here? Not got the little clicks, that's what's got wrong. There we go. Sometimes you just need a clicker on a transformer, don't you? That's all you need. Right, so much like his transformation from plane, we fold up his feet, so they're facing this way. And then we're going to turn them, and basically you've got this gap here, and that's where his arms are going to fit into. So you just sort of maneuver him until he clicks into place like so. Sorry guys, sorry about that guys, that was my son's alarm to feed the cat. So let's do the other side, and let's of course turn Superion's head around. Now again, you can just leave him like that. So let's get him put together. Pretty simple. Slide his legs in. I'm now going to readjust the camera. Oh, look at that. It's starting to take shape. So we've got this little tab down here, and that is going to... You do need to maneuver this a bit further up because it's going to go under here. So you sort of maneuver it up like so. He also pegs in here. So he's got these two slots here. So he sort of pegs in. The antenna again. Oh, both antennas now. No! No! So, first time of doing this, I got him in really, really easily. Let me see if this is the problem. That would help if I did that properly. So you can sort of see there, he does sort of fit in much easier. Then you can tab the back in and tab his front in. His tab wasn't fully in there, but I don't really care. I'm going to do the arms. I will do this arm because this arm is not a combiner arm. So again, so just so you see that, you pull it out, click it in, pull it out, click it in. Now, let's move his thingies back. And much like, again, I have to lift him up again now. Much like the Motor Master, this arm just slots on top. This now is going to be a pain. 2 seconds. Okay, here we have Slingshot. I've not even done his head right. Silly, silly me. That's probably something else that's going to go wrong. I knew there'd be something that would go wrong with this transformation, and it was that. Let me just turn his head around. You would be surprised what little tiny things make a huge difference to Transformers, won't you? Right, okay. Now, there's one or two things going to happen here. Either I'm going to be right on form and struggle like I don't know what. It is really warm as well. My hands are really slippy. I'm using excuses right now. Or I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to struggle to then extend his arms, because this was an absolute pain in the backside to do the other day. He just doesn't seem to want to click in properly. So I have clicked him in. He is in. He looks like he's secure there. Technically, I should just be able to pull. I am really going to struggle with this. It seems like the connector that unlocks the figure itself isn't that great. And then he comes loose here, which I don't think helps either. And in theory, you should just be able to pull this out. My hands are a bit slippy and I am getting very, very hot. I'm not going to struggle too much on camera, but this is where Motor Master comes in better. Is easier to do than this one. I don't know. I wonder what it's going to be like for the next one. I wonder if that's still going to be a problem. If it's a Slingshot problem, I don't know. If it's just a me problem, I don't know. But I'll show you with the full effect. Okay, so I've finally done it. It took me about a minute or two after that. It just feels like he doesn't connect here. And when I'm trying to pull this section up, he just tends to pull his legs up rather than... It just seems like this part really, really sort of holds on for dear life. So let's select that in there. I think that could go down a bit further, can it not? No, that is as far as it will go. Of course, he looks a bit daft without his earpieces in. So again, this is my biggest gripe with this guy, is his earpieces. I'm not going to struggle doing them right now. 1 sec. So I'm just going to lower him a bit again, just so you can obviously see how the bottom part fits on. I'm just going to turn these around so they're facing up, just so he goes in a bit easier. Much like with Menasor, he sort of just clips in. He has holes here, clip space there for these clips and these pegs. And he should just go in. This one goes in a lot easier. It's just lining it up so it goes in correctly. So yeah, you push him. Once you've got him lined up, it is just a case of... Oh, don't tell me I'm going to get this wrong now. That would be very typical of me. Just to get everything wrong after... Ah, there we go. Almost got him on. Nearly. There we go. Nice and secure. Really nice and tight on there. Which obviously pushes forward these, much like with Menasor. Then I'm just going to get him more top rather than his bottom. I'm sure you're not interested in his feet. Getting his gun, sticking. It does go in here. I'm sure it does. Does it go that way? There we go, that way, because here is Getting this out is going to be tricky because I am not very good with these sort of things. Oh, have I got something I can use to get it out? Sacrilege, I know. You have to use scissors. That's what I have for being not very... No, even these scissors are too thick. That's his gun. He holds it quite well. I'm going to see if I can get it. Just that little... Ah, there we go. And let's bend his arm. There we go. Superion and his gun. Let's have a quick size comparison. Of course, the most obvious size comparison we go with first is with Menasor himself, who kind of looks a little bit bigger there, but they're roughly the same size. Just my camera angle's not the best. Let's get him up a bit further. Yeah, his shoulders go up a little bit more. That's probably about it. However, in terms of head height, they're practically the same. Again, his horns might be a little bit longer, but they look fantastic together. I think I prefer Superion simply because his colour palette, I think, gives him a bit more oomph. Menasor is by no means bad. I think he's a bit plain, other than because obviously you've got the cars on the back, so he's a little bit more colourful, but he's quite grey and black, isn't he? Where, you know, you've got grey, you've got red, you've even got a couple of gold highlights. So I do prefer Superion. I've always had a soft spot for Superion anyway. I had both G1 versions as a kid, but I much preferred Superion. And just for another brief comparison, here he is with Commander Optimus Prime. This is where he feels like he sort of justifies the Commander price now, because actually, one more comparison. Let's bring in Jetfire. He's pretty much the same height as Jetfire, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think this is where they just about justify his Commander price. Anyway, enough with comparisons, enough with everything else. Let's get on to final thoughts. So again, I have much love for this Superion. The details, the head sculpt. I love this head sculpt. It brings back so much nostalgia and memories. I just love this Superion. Downside is that this can be a bit of a pain in the backside, but you only have to do it once or twice maybe, you know, depending on how many times you transform him and stuff like that. But other than that, an absolutely fantastic figure. If you can get hold of this guy, make sure you pick him up. I know he's already shipping out with a lot of UK retailers at the moment. He wasn't due till August, and he's out now. He came out very late June, or might be landing round about now. However, I do believe if you're in the UK, Smiths still have him down as August. So you can maybe try and secure one there if you haven't already. If you've got the other aerialbots, he is definitely a must-have. He is absolutely fantastic. I love this figure. Pricey, but for me, personally, I think he justifies the price because the nostalgia alone, and even with Nathan, who's got very little, well, he's got no nostalgia for him, in fact. He's got none whatsoever. Absolutely loves him, thinks he's a fantastic looking figure. And yeah, so that is it for this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, which will be looking at this guy. Not Optimus Prime, obviously. Star Optimus Prime. So again, please like, comment and share, and if you can share it as well, that would be a massive help to help me grow in the channel. Thank you everyone who watches and consistently watches. I know I think I have about 30 people who watch nearly every single video. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love you all. Thank you so much for indulging me. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.